What do you see when you look at me? A Mexican? Sorry, I'm not Latino. An immigrant? No, I've never even been out of the country. Maybe a Muslim. Strike three. If you guessed half Indian, half white, you either already know me well or you've been stalking me. You might not be able to see the white part. It starts about here. Some people don't know where to place me. People often seem to think that us people of mixed race are whatever they are. If they're Indian, I look full Indian to them. If they're Hispanic, I look Hispanic to them. If they're Middle Eastern, I look Middle Eastern to them. Some people are racist about it. Actually, mixed race people have fairly high levels of discrimination. I've been told to go back to Mexico a few times. I've also been walked up to by people pulling down the corners of their eyes saying, "Look, I'm Chinese, like you." I have to say, I hate the racism, but I hate even more that they're racist toward me for the wrong things. If you're gonna be racist, at least be racist to a person who's actually the race you think they are. People are just bad at being racist. It's pathetic. Seriously, you people need to step up your game. You are bad at being a bad person. That's just sad. Step up your racism game, man. Also, it makes me feel a bit guilty when frantic people walk up to me on the street speaking Spanish or Arabic or Gujarati and I can't understand them. I simply have to walk away, leaving them feeling like I just didn't want to help them. I hate it when that happens. I play cricket. One of the main reasons is that it helps me feel more in touch with the Indian side of me. The rest of my team is all Indian. Every time I'm around them, I end up feeling like I'm not Indian enough. One time my mom walked in to pick me up from practice while I was chatting with some teammates. The whole room fell silent at the only white person there. One of my teammates asked me if that was my mom. I responded yes, and he just looked away for a while. I asked him why he had asked, and he said, "I just didn't think she would be..." We all knew what the rest of the sentence was. I once told this Indian woman who I was chatting with that I played cricket, and I had to tell her my dad's full name and what part of India he was born in for her to believe me, because I happened to be with my white mom. Apparently, I didn't look Indian enough for her. But, it's good to be able to fake it if you need to. I don't know when I'll get to use this, but if I ever need to pretend like I'm Muslim or Hispanic or whatever, I'll be in good shape. So hit me up if you've got a career option in which being an ethnic chameleon is useful. We hear a lot about race relations in America. Some would say it's overplayed. But, I've been searching through the web and I haven't heard barely anything about race that comes through the lens of someone of dual heritage. That hurts me. It's hard to feel like there is this huge issue, sometimes even overplayed issue, but it often feels like my perspective on this issue doesn't count, is excluded from the discussion. And yes, it does affect us. Even though, according to a Pew Research Center study, we mixed race people are only 2.9% of America's population. That is, mixed race based on our parents. I don't think that means we somehow count less. We make up a unique and difficult part of America's racial situation, and there will only be more of us. The Census Bureau's prediction is that the dual heritage population will triple by 2060. Not that no one of mixed race speaks up about it. It does help to see the rare mixed race people that talk openly about their racial identity. One of my personal heroes is former President of the United States, Barack Obama. Not for political reasons, but because I didn't realize how comforting it was to have a mixed person in a high office like that until he wasn't there anymore. Also, another one of my heroes is the comedian Trevor Noah. You may know him as the host of The Daily Show, the handpicked successor of Jon Stewart. Trevor Noah was born in apartheid South Africa, to a black mother and a white father. Under apartheid law, blacks and whites were not allowed to have sexual relations. Trevor Noah was born a crime, as he titled his book. I've always looked up to these two. It really does make me feel less out of place to see two strong mixed-race people who are comfortable with their identity when I turn on the TV. It's something that we mixed race people don't get to experience very often. When my dad and his family moved from India to a small town called Hawthorne, New Jersey, in 1970, they were the only non-white people in the community. There was an extensive effort to keep my dad out, but my grandfather moved in anyway. Naturally, school was going to be an issue for my dad. People yelled racial slurs at my father and the middle brother Sanjay, but they just pushed through it. The eldest brother, Sheshi, however, was always a fighter. He made an attempt to stick up for himself after being racismed, if you will. He had to go to a hospital to treat the injuries sustained after having a rock hurled at his face. The school didn't do anything. You can see New York City from Hawthorne. Some of the people that live in Hawthorne were unfortunate enough to have been standing on a hill and watching in terror when the towers fell. But in the patriotic frenzy which followed 9/11, where the wound was and is still fresh in New Jersey, the easiest target to take out the pain was my grandfather, one of the only brown guys in Hawthorne. One day he was in the middle of a crosswalk when a car nearly plowed into him. The owner got out and started verbally harassing him. He later told me, "I thought they were going to kill me." When my dad used to try and tell me these stories, and how much it hurt him, I always used to tune him out. I would say, things are different now. I don't experience racism that drastic. I go to a remarkable, diverse school. I wasn't wrong. I don't get constantly harassed. No racist calls me the N-word, but I still experience racism. In an interview with Trevor Noah, then President Barack Obama once said, "The challenge we face today when it comes to race is rarely the overt Klansman-style racism." For me, my issues with race are less based on what group I fit into, but more based on the groups I don't fit into. Sometimes I feel like I don't belong in a certain race. I'm obviously not white, but my decidedly not brown eyes and my tan lines make me look very un-Indian. Some people call me a fake Indian, or a bad Indian. I have to prevent myself from looking at my dual heritage with a zero-sum mindset. I can be both Indian and white. I have to remind myself that I'm not half of anyone. That's why I like the term dual heritage better than mixed race. I use them both, but I try to use dual heritage when I can, because it reminds me that I'm not half an Indian person or half a white person. I am one whole person who's both white and Indian. The part that hurts the worst is the feeling of not fitting into a category. It's painful to have to click other when a survey asks you for your race. Now let me take a moment here. This is where I was supposed to write a powerful, emotional, profound conclusion. One with a positive outlook. I speak to you today with no such ending. I've seen countless people come to these sappy endings and try to outline some solution to racial issues. I'm sick of that. Sure, I'm a pessimist, but I just don't think that's logical. When I was writing this, I realized that I don't need to have a view like that. It just wouldn't be truthful. Someone I trust once taught me that it never helps to lie to other people to make them happy. And to say I could see a clear solution would be to lie to you all. So the truth is, I still don't know the solution to my problems with race. Honestly, I don't think there is one. Race is complicated, especially for someone like me, and I'm confident that we will never live in a post-racial society. But finding a solution is no longer my goal in this speech. I just want you to walk away having heard a different perspective on race. And maybe, through hearing a different perspective on this issue, we can come one step closer to whatever the way there is to reconcile our society's race problem and move towards healing it.